Welcome to this week's edition of Coach Prep. Coach Don and I are here in the Cherokee Batting Range podcast studio getting ready to record episode number 61. Today we're going to talk about some coaching dilemmas that I'm going through, some things that I wanted us to talk about, just kind of add a little personal touch to the discussion for our coaching friends. So we're going to get into that here in just a second. Before we do that, we have to talk about Cleat It Up. Cleat It Up FP is the communication tool we want you to use. Great tool for you to have all your inter-team communication. Also has a great social media aspect to it, so check out cleatitup.com and Cleat It Up FP. Also want to say thank you to Nexair. Nexair is a Memphis-based industrial gas, medical gas, research gas, welding supply, and safety PPE supplier. With strategically placed retail locations, sales branches, and distribution centers throughout the Southeast, Nexair is never too far away. They maintain centralized product warehouses to serve you better and be more reliable. Through our services, you can receive the products you need when you need them. Our fleet of trucks will get you the gas you need when you need it. If you're interested in any Nexair product or service, or just want to talk through your options, please get in touch. Our customer care team at 888-639-2474 will help you find the branch or outside sales rep in your area. Please reach out to Nexair. They'll take care of all your needs. And finally, please check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/everythingfastpitch. Coach Don and I are asking our listeners, those of you that can, help us out by becoming a patron. If you can donate, it goes a long way towards helping us keep the lights on and keeping things rolling. We've been doing Everything Fast Pitch and Coach Prep now for sneaking up on 3 years, and we just want to continue to do a good job for you, and we want to continue to keep it free. We don't want to have to become a subscription service, and so the best way for us to do that is for those of you that can contribute to do so. It's either $5, $10, or $20 a month. And if you go to patreon.com/everythingfastpitch, it'll all be explained to you there. So, Don, I've been coaching for a long time.
You have, yes.
And so right now, I'm helping with 3 different teams. 18 and under gold team, which is really, really strong. A team that's loaded with really talented players. A new team, which is an 18 and under team, which is just a regular 18 and under team that, again, has some really talented players. A lot of kids that are going to be playing in college, not necessarily quite the big name, household name
Same
programs as the gold team. And then I'm helping with our 12 and under gold team, which is also a really strong team, a lot of really talented kids. Across the spectrum of working with all these different teams, there's some things about my coaching that I'm starting to question a little bit or wonder a little bit about. And one of the thoughts that I'm having after this weekend, is there ever a time for you as a coach where it just appears that what you're trying to teach is so lost or so foreign or so difficult for the players you're working with to comprehend and get behind that you just say, the heck with it, just tap out.
You just say, let's move on to the next piece.
Let's just move on.
I think in anything in life, there's times like that. You're trying to get
You feel like you're fighting a fight that no matter how hard you fight, no matter how hard you swim, you just can't get to the shore.
You're speaking some other language, and they're
and
they're looking through you or around you or beside you. Yeah.
And so I'm having this deep thought today. A long weekend of softball and working with players that I just don't know for sure whether what I'm asking of them is so foreign to them that they can't comprehend it, or if it's so different than what they're used to that they just want to resist it, or if it's just a fight that can't be won and I'm just crazy to keep fighting it. And I'm trying to figure out where on the spectrum I'm at. I'm looking for you to be my Father Flanagan and help me make sense out of my life right now, because my head hit the pillow last night as a very frustrated and challenged coach.
It can be exhausting for sure, right?
Yeah. Well, and now I do softball a lot between lessons and the teams that I'm working with. I'm doing softball basically 7 days a week most of the time.
Most all day, yeah.
But the thing that buoys me and keeps me optimistic is I love going to practice. I love going to lessons every day. I mean, every day something happens that puts a smile on my face and makes me really excited to be there. I don't think I'm burnt out, but I'm definitely getting frustrated. Just a couple of examples. I've always taught this game to be played aggressively, but logically. To use aggression, but to use aggression in a way that, the fine line between aggressive and stupid. Here's my way of thinking. if I'm an outfielder,
be intense but under
right,
control.
And we'll just use outfield as an example. If I'm an outfielder, I should be able to be aware enough of what's going on and have a clear enough picture in my mind of what's going on to be able to sort out the play and make the right play as it develops, just to make sure that we all understand. So we got a runner at second with nobody out. Okay. Base hit up the middle. So obviously the initial, center field, left field doesn't really matter. The logic to me is pretty simple. I expect to throw home.
Sure.
I'm approaching the ball thinking I'm going to throw home. But before I throw home, I should peek for just a split second and see where that runner is. Okay, I'm coming up, I'm preparing, I'm looking for the target, but as I'm looking to go home, I'm going to just take a quick peek, figure out where that base runner is.
Is she just getting to third? Is she 10 feet past third?
Or in the dugout shaking hands with her teammates?
Right.
Okay, and so working on this in practice, you would have thought I was asking these players to do quantum physics.
Too many things at once, Tory.
Everybody called 4. I said, well, everybody else was wrong. Well, then everybody else should. And I said, no, we're going to work on them figuring out what they should do. But I said, if you come up,
it's wrong.
You're looking at that runner. You saw that runner at second. It's a 14 hopper to you up the middle. She's a fast girl.
Got a good jump.
So when you come up to look and you can see that she is almost, within 10 feet of home plate, there's no logical reason in the world that you can tell me that it makes sense for you to throw it home. Well, everybody else was yelling 4. I understand that, but we just spent time working on you need to look before you throw.
Right.
Okay. So I want her to be aggressive. Now, if the girl's just rounding third and she's got a chance to throw her out, I want her to throw a laser to the plate. But I also want us to be able to be aware enough of what's going on to be aggressive, to look to make plays, but be in control enough to do the right thing.
Yes.
And now this was just the cherry on top of the sundae. Okay.
Uh-oh.
And so then we continued to work on this drill, and we worked on it for a good 15, 20 minutes. Of 15 to 20 minutes, I just stopped doing it. I just moved on to the next thing. Here's the reason why. 4 different outfielders, at least 15 chances each, did not make the right decision 10% of the time.
Wow, right? So they need to do the opposite.
Right. And so
if you think you should do that.
And so rather than continue to beat the dead horse, we'll go back to it and work on it again. So is it they're so used to just doing what they've been told that when somebody yells 4, they can't process the idea that that person might be wrong? That's the first part of my question.
No, I know, and it's tough. And I'm going to throw this one out there too, Tory. When I played ball as a catcher, I was more of a quiet, shy type person, and it was really challenging for me to have to assess and call out loud what I thought the right answer was over and over and over. And and you're going to be wrong. There's going to be times when it's a close play and they're safe instead of out. The whole confidence and being very decisive and making a call, deciding something and then going through with it. That's something that we've got to be okay with making some mistakes with too.
Right.
But it is challenging and tough. And I think, whether it's the computer that says 2 and 2 is 5, and the computer said 2 and 2 is 5, so it's got to be 5, right? And it's 4, but so to your point, we've got to be able to think on our own and be able to anticipate. And part of it's just practice, just like you guys were doing.
Right.
But I totally get your end. And for us, when we've done it for decades and decades, doesn't this make sense?
So I'm going to just add another layer to the discussion, because a big part of why this team was put together is we know that these are almost all players that are going to be playing in college next year.
Yes.
And
we're not going on the 12s, we're at the 18s.
No, these are the 18s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, my 12 and under team is better at it than my 18 and under team.
See, I thought we were rolling on the younger ones.
No. That's so okay.
So this amplifies.
Yeah. So this amplifies it.
Yeah.
And so the idea of why this team was put together and the reason that I basically agreed to help with coaching this team was to help these players be prepared for what their college coaches are going to expect.
Sure.
Now, I understand that, and again, I'm going to throw this out there. If you watch enough summer softball, you're going to see this mistake made 95% of the time. The number of times that the ball gets thrown to the wrong base from the outfield with no regard for what is going on is so rampant and so ridiculous.
Like
it's hard for me to really put it into words.
Just a robotic.
Yeah. Challenge is, that I'm charged with falling back on my college experience, the things that I know that one will impress the heck out of their college coaches.
Sure.
So if I'm at my first practice with my incoming freshman class and we go out there to practice and I've got a freshman outfielder who actually scans the play and determines where to throw it and makes the right throw, there's a high likelihood that that freshman outfielder is earning a spot in the starting lineup the first week.
Sure.
If I have a freshman outfielder who's like all the other freshman outfielders who comes in and chucks that ball wherever the first thought was and it goes there, whether there's any play or not, I'm thinking they're going, oh my God, here we go again. Another one of these freshmen who don't know what they're doing, and I'm going to have to teach them everything.
I got some work to do.
Yeah.
But you're just trying to help them.
Right. I'm trying to help them. And it's one of a dozen different things. So we're talking about bunt coverage is the way they can expect their college coaches to do it.
Sure.
I might as well be speaking Greek.
Swahili.
Talking, cutoffs and relays and where to throw the ball, when there's a potential play at a base or a play at the plate. First and third plays, rundowns. Simple stuff that college coaches are going to need these players to be able to do. It is seriously, I left yesterday going, what am I doing?
Tougher at the travel ball setting, and you might have more practice opportunity than many other travel teams, but when we have them in college, and that's what you and I typically are used to,
right,
is having them every day. If we don't get it today, we're going to do it tomorrow. If we don't get it tomorrow, we're going to do it the next day, and the next, and the next, and the next, till we get it. The challenge for the travel scenario is that you don't get them again till next weekend. And then if we don't get it next weekend, then we got to wait one more weekend. That weekend got rained out, and then, it's a month later. So
okay, so let's take this all the way back around the bend then, because here's what my question is. Okay, so yesterday I tapped out because I knew if we would have worked on it for another 20 minutes, we still weren't going to get it. So I figured we're going to come back to it.
Yeah.
So question number one is, should I even bother?
Yes.
Okay.
So because some might get it, and they're going to start processing it, and yeah.
Okay. Or should I be picking different battles to fight?
No, I think you share everything and the pieces that do stick. I think that's good.
So.
But then when do you pull the pin on,
right,
the frustration part?
Yeah, because we're headed for a very frustrated coach. Here's why I think this is why I wanted us to talk about this today. What I'm trying to help them gain, they all say they want, but do they really want it? I want to be ready to compete as a freshman, coach, but I want to be ready to compete as a freshman as long as I can just do what I'm used to doing.
As long as it's easy for me, Tory.
Or as long as it's easy, well, then I'm not the right coach.
Right.
Okay. I want to be the best player I can possibly be as long as I can keep doing what I'm used to.
Right, as long as I don't have to work.
Yeah.
No.
I'm going to continue to get away with my amazing athletic ability because I've gotten away with it forever, and I'm just foolish enough to think that it's going to carry me through my college career.
It's interesting, and the kids are different than what we, coached in college for sure.
Yeah,
but times are changing, and
but
I know what I think is right.
Right.
I know what I think is right.
But here's the thing. I know.
But I've been told that I need to learn how to teach the new millennial student athlete.
Right. No, and I understand all that stuff. But here's the rub for me. If I wanted to learn how to play the piano, right, and somebody said Stan Lewis is the best piano teacher in America, and if you go to him, you're going to learn how to play the piano in 2 weeks. You're going to be playing Chopin and Mozart in a month, and you're going to be able to be a great piano player. And it's going to set you up to be successful for the next 5 years of your life if you choose to be a piano player.
I like it.
And I go, and the first 5 minutes in the first lesson, I say, well, I'd probably like it better if I didn't have to practice.
Doesn't work that way.
But so that's where I'm at. That's my frustration. And I don't know if this is even a decent podcast or not. I don't even know if people really even want to care. But I'm having a real existential moment about if it's worth it to me to continue to fight this fight or not.
Well,
because what's in it for me? That's my question. What's in it for me?
If you continue the journey and they finally get it one day, Tory, then maybe you have won that battle and succeeded through your persistence and your patience.
Well, as you can tell, my patience has been tested a little bit.
I'm trying.
You're doing a good job, Don. You're doing a good job.
Yeah.
So coaches, here let's just kind of bring this back full circle. You're not the only ones that go through this.
Right.
I am going through it now. I coached my first Fastpitch softball game in 1977.
You've seen some things.
It's not something that I think only happens to younger coaches or less experienced coaches or whatever. I walked away from
At all levels.
my softball experience this weekend going, what am I doing?
We bang our heads too against the wall every now and then. Yeah.
I know I'm too stubborn to give up.
Yeah.
But I'm also trying to figure out how to make sure that I don't have another heart attack.
You're going to justify the effort needed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll update you here in a couple of weeks and let you know how things are going.
I think they're going to get it. I think you're going to get them there.
This is the sound of me shaking my head. That's all I'm going to tell you. This got
quiet.
This is the sound of me shaking my head. I'm going to keep after it, but right now I'm just going to tell you honestly, I have serious doubts.
Tory, my bet's on you.
Well, I have some serious doubts.
I'm on your side there.
Coaches, I hope that was interesting for you to listen to me whine and cry to Don here for 15 minutes. He's gonna.
We want to hear some of their stories.
He's gonna pump me up and make me go back to practice in a couple of weeks and try to teach this stuff all over again.
You got him.
Hopefully, we'll figure it out. We start playing some games with that group here pretty soon, so we'll see how this plays out.
It's gonna be for real.
It's gonna be for real. So because we've got a couple of weeks of showcases here for the fall season, and then head into Thanksgiving and a little bit of a break.
Awesome.
So if you have questions, suggestions, or ideas for Coach Don or I to talk about, if you're going through some of these same kinds of coaching quandaries where you're shaking your head and wondering what the heck am I doing, please feel free to share that stuff. We'd love to talk about it because Coach Prep is meant to help those of you that want to be involved in coaching and do a good job with it, to have as much fun with it, as much success as possible. Kind of made sense today because if I'm struggling with something, I figure you should understand that it's okay if you're going to be struggling with it too from time to time. If you throw some ideas or some suggestions at us, we'll be happy to share them and see what we can do with them.
Nice. I love it.
So that's going to wrap up episode number 61 of Coach Prep. Please make sure that you check out Cleated Up, Nexair, and our Patreon page at patreon.com/everythingfastpitch. If you can help us out financially, Coach Don and I would really appreciate it. So for Coach Don and Stan Lewis, our producer, this is Coach Tory in the Cherokee Batting Range Podcast Studio saying thanks for listening to episode number 61 of Coach Prep.